So a lot of the stuff that I earned, I went and lost because I was so devoted to being the best possible mob guy that I could be. Did I put it in front of my family back then? I did. Do I regret that? Of course. Was it the right thing to do? No. Let me ask some of you out there. Are you doing the same? Some of you that have achieved great success, what did it cost you as far as your personal or your family life or, your position in the community, your neighbors? What did it cost you?
I walk in redemption.
Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is very good, very blessed on this end. It's raining a little bit here, more than I've ever seen in the last 30 years, but that's how it goes in Southern Cal every once in a while. But everything blessed on this end. As always, I give God all the praise, honor, glory, and thanksgiving for that. Before I get into anything, a couple of quick announcements. Number one, for all those of you that want to be my partner or associates in Franzese Wine, this Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, we're having a webinar. Now, over 200 people have joined me so far in something that's probably the fastest growing wine company in the country right now. We have some very special things to talk about and announce. You want to be my partner, my associate? Over 200 people have joined us already, and they're already enjoying the fruits of what's happening with Franzese Wine. So that's 5 o'clock on Friday, this coming Friday. I think it's the 9th, and we'll put up the link so that you can get on the Zoom call. But you got to register. You got to put your email in, register, because we only take a limited amount of people. That's number one. Number two, my dear friend Patrick Bet-David, many of you know him, has created this wonderful vehicle called Minnect, MINNECT.com, Minnect.com. It's a way that you can communicate with me either by text, by email, in a live call. It's great. I've been getting a lot of people. There's other people on the platform. If you want to get some advice, some mentorship, business, personal, whatever, it's become a great platform. A lot of people are taking advantage of it. So it's Minnect, MINNECT.com. Join me on that. I think you're all going to enjoy it. I'm loving having conversations with many people all across the world. So it's working out great. So you see the title of today's video. People, I want to get something straight. I never glorify my former life. Some people think because I have this amazing canvas behind me, well, this is not a canvas, but there is a canvas that, yes, so many of you are asking me about, and yes, we are going to make it available. Not in, in bulk, but in a limited amount. It will be available. Just stay tuned. It's coming soon. We're going to give you all the details, all the information on it. It's amazing, one of a kind. You're not going to see anything like this again. But just because I have this, people say, you know what? You're glorifying your former life. No, I'm not. I walked away from that life. I've said many times, it's an evil life. The lifestyle is evil because it's destructive to families. I don't call the men evil. Who am I to say that? I was one of them. But the lifestyle is destructive to families, and that makes it a bad and evil lifestyle. So I'm not glorifying it. But I do talk about it. Why? Because it's part of history. You can't deny it. We had amazing control in this country for a long time. We had, impact. We had impact on the presidency. We had impact on the unions. We had impact in Hollywood. We had impact in corporate America. You can't deny it. So yes, I talk about it. There are books written about it. There are movies made about it. It's huge all over the world. I have an audience all over the world because people are interested in the genre. But I want to talk about something because many of you are contacting me, a lot of men lately, that are going through some tough times. And I'm talking about successful men that have really made it, men that are successful in business, but struggling in other areas of their life, whether it be personal or other areas. And a lot of guys are looking towards me. I'm doing a men's group tonight, and I really get down with the men. Men need advice, they need mentorship, they need counseling, especially in this day and age where so many men grew up in a home with a single mom and no father figure. And it has an impact throughout their life, even those that are successful. So I want to tell you some of my experiences. And, I like to help the guys. I really do. And that's why Minnect is one platform. We have other things that we're going to be talking about. But I really feel obligated because people, for those who have been given much is expected in return. And boy, I've been blessed to the nth degree with all my challenges, all my struggles. It could have worked out a lot worse for me. I could either have been dead or in prison for the rest of my life. Some people say maybe that's what you deserved. But God had a different plan and a purpose for me in my life, and that's why I'm here. So I want to tell you something. You know, part of the mob life, it's crazy. You know, my father once told me, I'll never forget, he said, Michael, you can never have respect for police, for law enforcement. And I said, why, Dad? He said, because they take an oath to lock up their own mothers and fathers if they were to commit a crime. And at that point in time, I thought that was horrible. But then I thought of something. You know, when I took an oath to Cosa Nostra on Halloween night back in 1975, I was told straight out, if your mother is sick and dying and you're at her deathbed, you're at her bedside, and we call you to service, you leave your mother and you come and serve us. We come first before anything and everything in your life. Well, a lot of guys took that very seriously, and for a short time, so did I. So why does that make us any better or any different than what a law enforcement person? And they're doing it for legitimate reasons, because they take an oath to protect and serve. Even if their own relatives were to do something wrong, part of the oath is protect and serve society. And I don't know, if many police officers or law enforcement people would do that anyway, and if they didn't, I certainly understand that. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But, I was so driven in that life to be the best possible mob guy that I could be. And my family suffered over it. The people that cared about me, they suffered over it. The night that I got made, I'll never forget. After we got made, it was 6 of us that night, 5 other gentlemen and myself. We went in and we had a banquet. That's what Italians do, right? After everything we eat. So we have a banquet. And one of the captains came in, with a bag, a brown paper bag. And he goes up to the boss, we're all sitting there eating, and he says, hey boss, should I give him their bag of money now? And it was like a joke, because people think you get into that life and all of a sudden the life is supporting you. Just the opposite. You get into that life, you got to support the life. You got to pay up. Life doesn't do anything for you but afford you with the opportunity to use the life to benefit yourself in some way. But nobody's handing you anything. Nobody's giving you anything. Nobody's supporting you. A lot of guys go to prison. They don't get a penny. My father didn't get a penny from anybody when he went to prison, nor did I. I had to make my own way. And that's the truth. And one of the myths about that life is, oh, don't worry, you got your brothers, we're going to take care of you. No way. And I think, look, my own personal opinion, I think a lot of guys, were turned off on the life because of that. They might have given them their all and, then they felt that they didn't get enough in return when they went to prison or when they got in trouble. We had to pay our own lawyers, the whole bit. Anyway, again, another thing. So I'm driven to be the best possible mob guy I could be. I was fortunate. I knew how to use that life to benefit me in business. I was more of a racketeer than a gangster, no doubt about it. Of course, when I was told to do something, I had to do it, and I did it. Because, again, I wanted to be known as a good soldier and eventually a good capo regime or captain, because that's what I was. And can I tell you people something? I don't ever call myself a boss. People say, oh, Michael, they call you a boss. Well, that's the media. That's not me. I'm not calling myself a boss. Other people do that. But let me explain. A capo regime, which I was appointed that. Initially, I was acting capo for my dad because he was on parole. So I was acting, which is an official position. I represented him as an acting capo regime. And then I was made an official capo regime in 1980. Well, what is a capo regime? It's a street boss. That's what it is. You get assigned men, the soldiers underneath you, by the boss, and you're their immediate supervisor, or you're their boss. And they can't go to the boss without coming to you first. If they do that, they get in trouble. So you're their boss. When they say I'm a boss, it's actually fairly true because I was a street boss or a capo regime. So let's get that out of the way. But I was so driven, I wanted to make as much money as I possibly could. And I was very aggressive. I worked 24 hours a day. I was out there. I brought some new things into the life that hadn't been done before. Not going to be redundant and tell the story again. You all know my background. Many of you do. And for those of you that don't, just look it up. I'm all over the place. That's not the purpose of this video. But, as a result of my allegiance to that life and my wanting to be the best possible guy I could be in that life, I was arrested 18 times. I went to trial 5 times because I had 7 indictments, 2 federal racketeering cases, 1 state racket. I had a 10-year prison sentence. I did 8 years on the 10. I had a $14.7 million restitution and $5 million in forfeitures. So a lot of the stuff that I earned, I went and lost because I was so devoted to being the best possible mob guy that I could be. Did I put it in front of my family back then? I did. Do I regret that? Of course. Was it the right thing to do? No. Let me ask some of you out there. Are you doing the same? Some of you that have achieved great success, what did it cost you as far as your personal or your family life or, your position in the community, your neighbors? What did it cost you? Are you really happy? When I was making all that money, I'll never forget, I was committing crimes. I was defrauding the government. Somebody came to me, Michael, you got all the money you ever need. Why do you continue doing this? You're not in trouble yet. Maybe you can cut it off. And my thinking was, well, you know what? You're getting just as much trouble for $1 million as you do for $1 billion. So why should I give it to anybody else? Let me just keep going. That was my thought process. And some of you out there, I guarantee that have been successful in life, you probably made it. You got, a good business going. You got a good life going on, but you just want more. Okay, nothing wrong with that at times, but what are you sacrificing for that? Why am I asking these questions? Because men are coming to me and asking me, Michael, you seem to have it all together now. You went through that prison. You survived that life. You're married now for 38 years. You got 7 beautiful children. You got 7 grandchildren. Well, what happened? Well, I got smart at some point in time. After I made my family suffer, after I was away from my wife and children for 8 years, and yeah, that caused issues. You can't be separated for all that time, and think everything's just going to come back together, normally. It doesn't happen that way. You go through challenges. You got to readjust. You got to come together again, but you got to make an effort to do that. Well, the light bulb went off. And let me tell you something. I'm comfortable right now, but it's not first in my life anymore. My family is first. My children are first. My grandchildren. I live for that. I live to create memories. I live for the relationship now, that my wife and I have. There's nothing more important to me at this point other than my faith in the Lord, which I believe is the reason that this all came together for me because, again, God had a different plan and a purpose for my life. So I just want to tell you, people, for those of you out there that are contacting me, or maybe just some of you that are listening now, and I'm talking specifically to the guys because this is more a guy thing. Guys think that, okay, I got a great company, I drive a nice car, I can go on vacation whenever I want, I live in a great house, and I take care of my family, that, that's everything in life. Well, it's important. Of course, we want to have that kind of success. But what's more important is being fulfilled in your personal and your family life. That's it. There's no greater peace of mind. There's no greater way to live than to be in concert with your companion, with your family. So, for you guys out there, don't make the mistakes that I made, because I went through it all. I can tell you, I went through it all. And I know some of you are going to contact me after this. I'm going to get comments about it. And I want to help you. I really do. I want to help you if I can. So, just understand, I'm hoping that I'm answering some of your questions that, don't make the business come first. Don't make that mistake that you're so driven in business and you're so driven to be successful in your business life that your personal life is falling apart. Because I guarantee that some of you who have achieved that success, you're still not fulfilled in your life. Money isn't everything. It's important. It buys you comfort. It buys you peace of mind in that regard, regarding your finances. But it doesn't always, solve the issues that you have personally with your family. There's nothing more important. But you know what? You can do both. I managed to do that. I still work pretty hard right now. I got a lot of things going. I'm in the wine business. I'm in the pizza business. I'm speaking all over the world. But you know what? My family comes first. I've learned how to make that balance happen. And it's paid off. I can say this, after 38 years, my wife, I don't know if we've ever been closer. And through all the challenges, remember, 8 years in prison, readjustment, so much stuff that went on. I had a contract on my life at one point in time. I still had the government coming after me. But we've managed to do it all. So, this is hopefully just answering that question. And again, I want to make this clear. I do not in any way glorify my former life. It's a destructive life. And anything that is destructive to a family life, you should disregard, get away from it, don't let it happen, make adjustments, make changes so that your success doesn't destroy your personal life. There's got to be a balance. I've achieved it. I know how, and if I could help or advise anybody, I'm here to do it. And I really mean that. But, So that's about it. I just wanted to make that clear, to people, again, to respond to some of the questions I get. I think it's important because, look, I'm on this platform really for all of you. I mean that. And you've supported me, throughout the years. It's, I think, 3 years now that we're on this platform, well over 1 million subs. I think we've achieved a lot. And why is that? That's because you've been supportive of me. I don't get to read all the comments, but I do read as many as I can because that tells me what my people want to hear, what they're listening for. And by the way, I get knocked whenever I deal with politics. I get knocked. And people, you know what? When I'm talking politics, take the word politics out of it and let's talk issues. That's what I'm concerned about because we're in a very volatile time right now. 2024, who knows what's going to happen? We got 2 guys running for office that it's chaotic already. Okay, we got trouble in the Middle East. We got trouble throughout the world. We got trouble in our southern border. We got trouble here domestically with inflation. We got so much stuff going on. So when I'm talking about that, I'm trying to give you my perspective to maybe help you navigate your way through this. It's going to be a tough time. But you know what I've done, people? For those of you that want to hear my views, I'm not going to talk politics on YouTube. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to get into so many issues unless I get comments and you say, no, Michael, we want to hear it. And I do get a lot of that. I do get it. But I hear the others say, I want mob stories. Can I tell you something? I'll tell you something. There's a couple that I got coming up. You see all these 50 guys back here? I'm going to tell a story about every single one of them shortly. So you're going to hear the mob stuff from me. But it's not going to be the priority. I'm not going to get into politics on this channel. I just want to tell you, I just joined Rumble. I put up 2 videos there. It's a different platform. People want to hear about issues and politics. So if you want to hear that, go to Rumble and you'll get enough of that from me. And people, I got to tell you something. I'm fired up. I just want people to be able to protect themselves. I want people to be able to navigate these rough waters that we're going through. And believe me, we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. And we got to be prepared. We got to be prepared emotionally. We got to be prepared financially. We got to be prepared physically in every which way. And you guys out there that are successful in your business, are you prepared for what may happen here in the next couple of months? I would say leading up to this election and beyond. Who knows? It's a different time than we have gone through before. I know people say, oh, come on, Michael, we've gone through this kind of history before. Not like this. It's different. So that's it for today, my friends. I hope, again, this channel is more than just telling stories. And listen, if you want to hear stories, there's other platforms out there. Look, Sammy Gravano, great storyteller. Anthony Ruggiano, there's a bunch of guys. I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm just not going through the whole thing. But there's a lot of people out there telling mob stories. And you'll get some of that from me, but you're going to get some more from me. Because I care, okay? I care. So that's it for today. How do I always leave you, my friends? Same way, it's not going to change. And for those of you that say, Mike, you talk too much about God. No, I don't talk enough about God. Not on this platform, but, I do it in other places. Never going to change. Be safe. Please be safe. Watch your surroundings. Be safe. Be healthy, people. Come on, right after Christmas and New Year's, everybody gets into the gym. I'm noticing that. But watch how it starts to, thin out, in the next couple of weeks. By March, it'll be back to the way it was before, the new year. But be safe, be healthy. God bless each and every one of you. And you know what? I don't just say that. I mean it. God bless each and every one of you, through the storms that are coming up, in this year. And yes, I'll see you next time. Take care.